What's up, YouTube? It's been a long time since I've posted on here. I had to go away and take care of a few things. I'll elaborate on that later on different videos, but I'm sitting here parked outside a park, a playground structure. It's basically two empty lots here in Bowness at 6623 Bowness Road Northwest. So I'll tell you, I'll take you for a walk around after and show you what we're looking at. But anyways, I'm a little sad today because I'm making this video and I'm posting it on YouTube and I'm going to start a movement. But I'm a little bit sad today because we were fighting City Hall on this and we lost. So they voted, they're going to tear down this playground in this park, and they voted to put, it's going to be a 50-unit, 5-story affordable housing complex, and the contract was going to be awarded to Trellis Foundation. So I learned a lot in the City Hall meetings, 2 days. I saw the process. Oh my God, it's painful. We're up against a huge machine. You got to understand, in order to get heard or anything. So I'm a little disappointed in myself too, because I was supposed to present on Tuesday and I knew exactly what I was going to say. I was going to come in and I was going to be myself. I was going to tell a story about what I believe was some how did I word it? Sorry. This is the problem. I got up there and I realized, guys, 5 minutes in front of City Hall, most people had like recordings and high tech, and I totally underestimated what was going to happen. I got up there, I fumbled, and because I had changed gears. Anyways, let me just get back to my story. I was going to present my story one way because I witnessed something, and there's some underhanded things going on with this project, with secrecy. And this is city land, and there's been, so there's controversy. There's hair on it. Anyways, we'll talk about that. There's hair on this project. Let's just use that term. There's hair on this project. So, speaking of hair, anyways, so I thought I was going to be able to get up there and speak freely and everything, but yeah, I panicked. I referenced my notes. I skipped ahead, and I didn't even get to talk about the most important thing I want to talk about. So what I'm here to do today is I'm here to show you the park. I'm here to read my speech, which definitely is not a 5-minute speech. Okay, so you need to I need to replan this whole city council presentations because it was crazy. You get up there and yeah, you're not used to it. You get up there, there's a lot going on, guys. It's not easy. So I should have pre-recorded something for sure, or had my cue cards and plan to speak for 30 seconds because 5 minutes goes by like that. I looked down and I saw I only had 3.5 minutes left already, and I felt like I just started and I panicked. So anyways, lesson to be learned. If you're gonna go in front of city council, be prepared. So anyways, I'm sitting in my truck outside the park. I got my notes, my speech. There's no way, guys, look at my notes. So there's no way I could have done it. But anyways, I'm here to read it today. And then now I can pause and ad lib. We're looking at probably a 20-minute video. So bear with me. You can fast forward to wherever you want. I might have to do 2 videos. I'll do this and then I'll pause, get my boots on and toque, and I'm gonna get dressed and go for a walk. We're gonna go look at the equipment and everything, because that came up too, that these guys in these council meetings, they assume that because on paper this equipment is 20 years old, it's going to need to come down, and this park, if we didn't sell it to a developer and put something there, that we'd have to put money into it anyways. Well, I'm going to show you what the equipment looks like, guys. And even one of the councilors, Chabot, said he would love to have this equipment in his playgrounds, right? And people behind me are chuckling, but I'm serious, guys. Our economy is not good, and shouldn't be spending money on playground equipment. We shouldn't be tearing this down either. I know we need affordable housing, but it was crazy what happened. So I'm going to read you my speech. and we'll go from there. Sorry, is there someone walking by? Make sure they're not coming to see me. Sorry if I keep cracking my neck. I got a neck and back problem right now. Like I said, I was working on some stuff. So anyways, let's lock those doors so I can concentrate, right? Okay, here's my presentation. So it's going to be way more than an allotted 5-minute time. So here. So good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Jeff Theo, and I am a resident of Bowness. I was here yesterday planning to present. I was going to present something that I'm including in this presentation now because I have the time. The original one that I wanted to do, but there's no way I could have got through it. So, fast forward. So I really had to think about what to say. You know, the things where I was going to ad lib and fill in, I'll just go yada, yada, yada. But here it is. So I was trying to figure out how to get through to you guys. You know, it makes me wonder if there is any getting through. Has council's mind been made up? Is this a done deal? We've heard that the developer's already sunk $340K of costs into this project. Apparently, the land's been sold already to them, and it's like nobody was notified, or we're notifying people after the fact and saying, well, too bad, it's a done deal, and there's sunk costs. So you'll hear that term too. Well, why would we turn down this project when there's all this sunk costs? Well, why is there sunk costs in a project where there's a park and a playground? Like, this land was promised to them, guys. Anyways, this is where I got sidetracked in my presentation yesterday. So what I wanted to say was, and I'm going to read here, so I apologize, but I'll talk some more, don't worry. We saw many people talk yesterday who oppose this development for many great reasons. And you know what? Everything from the utilities, the water supply, the sewage, the schools, traffic congestion, like everything. So all of the stuff was brought up. There was excellent presentations. So I'm not going to focus here on saying all the things that were good. I'm going to focus on what we really need to talk about here. It's really interesting, guys. So, so anyways, but the way we were met with resistance on this, because we're supporting a park, was that we were against affordable housing. So what I was going to say, but first to clarify, so I was going to say yesterday, who opposed this development for great reasons, which I will get into, which I'm not going to get into today, but I was going to get into all the reasons, yada, yada, yada. They weren't even listening, guys. So anyways, but first to clarify, what we're not opposing, it's not a vote against affordable housing. We are in support of affordable housing for people. We don't want people to be homeless any more than you do. Like, to come at us and say that we're against affordable housing is absolutely crazy, guys. I don't need that. It's crazy. It's a crazy argument, and that's like all of the virtue signaling arguments were made for that. It was crazy. So what we are against is the tearing down of this playground and park to build a structure that does not fit into the landscape nor the essence of the community. And this is where I wanted to reference the plans, but I forgot them at home. So that's going to be another video. I'm going to come here I decided I'm coming here every day to make a video, even when it's during construction. You guys are going to see this whole process because the people are pissed off. Anyways, there was 2 girls that sat out here all summer collecting signatures, over 1,200 signatures, guys, of people saying that they didn't want this, of opposing this development. 1,200 signatures, that's a lot. So here we go. So the building, okay. We know that it's not about affordable housing, guys. It's about money. Sorry. And property taxes and revenues. And the wish is most likely to move next door and do the same thing. There's a lady right over here. She's 79 years old, and she was talking about, well, her place isn't going to even exist. Once they see this thing go up, I get sidetracked. Hang on. Okay. And the wish is most likely to move next door and do the same thing. But it won't be affordable housing this time, you guys. Right? It'll be the next developer, or maybe even the same people under the guise of a different company, right? Who knows? But the precedents will have been set. Okay, the precedents will have been set. They'll have this monstrosity of a building here already. And from here to downtown Bowness, they're going to absorb all those properties. They're going to change the landscape here. So that's what we know. That's the objective. For sure it is, guys. Like, they're going to take a park. So if they're willing to take a park and a playground from people to put that up, these other ones, you might as well write them off, I think. Anyways. So anyway, like I say, so moving on, sorry for the digression. I'd like now just to summarize the panels and what I am seeing in this public hearing so far, if I may. Okay, different video, guys. There's all the stuff for, all the stuff against. Oh, I got to read you a couple. Okay, there was one guy, he said, we can build playgrounds overnight. What? Really? We can't even keep the ones we got. How do you, yeah. Okay, he's at a loss of why this project would meet resistance. Just at a loss. Like, it's just the connotation that it was crazy. Well, they're taking away a park. Of course there's resistance, right? Like, people grew up here. Like, there's houses. It's a park. Another guy said, so be it if a park has to go and kids need to walk further or get driven to a different park. Build them all, this guy said. He actually said, build them all. And then this other person, we'd be rejecting thousands of dollars of sunk costs. We vote no, $340K. And apparently there's a $7 million provincial grant. And then there's probably going to be a federal grant. So not only are they taking the park, but the taxpayers are footing the bill to build this thing. Does that make sense? Are you guys okay with that? You know, and 1,200 signatures, guys, doesn't even get them to blink. And this is going to start happening. I see these signs all over the city. So anyways, okay. Others had crazy statements like, the people are homeless and dying. It's appalling and astonishing that we have an issue with affordable housing. Well, we don't have an issue with affordable housing. We're not saying not in our community, any of that bullshit. Part of my language. But it's a park, guys. It's a playground. It's a family space. Like, it's... think about the message you are sending if you don't approve this development. Well, council, think about the message if you do. Well, they did approve it. But I was going to say, the people have spoken, 1,200 signatures, you have to vote no. But no, they did. It'd be interesting to hear what they did on the Glenmore Landing one last night. It was after us, and I didn't stick around. I had obligations, but... oh, and we heard, if not here, then where? Well, that thing holds, it's just, yeah, it's like twisted, warped logic to suit your agenda. Doesn't hold any water. If not here, then where? If not now, then when? Like, it's yeah. We heard of a park replacement theory. I'm going to do a separate video on that. Remind me. Okay. Oh, and then we were called elitists and racists. And the same person mentioned something in there about diversity and equity. And yeah, we were called elitists and racists. And that was when I was going to comment on my t-shirt, guys. I was wearing my favorite t-shirt there yesterday. And I was going to be like, who comes into City Hall? I'm obviously not an elitist. I'm wearing t-shirt and a jeans. I'm wearing my flannel today. I'm in my old truck. Like, I'm a Bonesian, guys. Like, it was crazy. We're against affordable housing and we're elitists and racist. Yeah, I don't think so. I really don't think so, guys. Like, come on. Don't give me that. So yeah, I get emotional. No, 5 minutes. How am I ever going to do anything in 5 minutes in front of City Hall? PowerPoint and just ask 3 questions maybe. I don't know. Okay, moving on. Dropping my book here. Better remember my notes. They're very important because I didn't pay attention to them in the meetings. But I didn't have it written down in front of me, so. Okay. Oh yeah, the elitist, racist. Okay, so moving on. Oh yeah, no, okay, before I move on. Others referred to the park as an underutilized parcel of land. Some guy, he was a developer, said this is where they talked about there was hair on the project, and then Sonia talked about the timeline. It was alluded that maybe, like, how was Trellis steered towards this? And then they were trying to build somewhere else, and then the city offered this. Well, and this was a done deal since 2022 now, we're hearing. So there's all this hair around this project, and Councillor Chabot, Sonia Ward, and Wong, and McLean, and one other, Chu, who were against it, and everyone else voted for. So, yeah. Anyways, so the hair on the project. Okay, so then I was going to get into a story, and this is where I ran out of time. Asked for an extension, and of course, I'm not hearing stuff that they want to hear. Like I'm opposing them. Like they're all for it, right? So who knows what kind of deals have been made? I don't know. There's hair on the project, guys. Hair on the project. So it's their words. I'm just using it. It was quoted in there. I have his name in my notes and stuff. We're gonna make another couple videos, right? So I got lots of things to say. But what I really needed to get into, guys, so on October 18th, 2024, I was driving down Main Street, Bowness, and I'm coming back with my coffees. I see these two guys standing in the park with the reflective vests. They're construction guys, and I see they're both had their own pickups. They're both in hard hats, or maybe they're in the same pickup. Both had hard hats, safety glasses, earmuffs, steel toes, done up, PPE to the 9. Okay, so you look like these guys are pretty official. They know what they're doing. Well, I'm like, okay, what's happening? Are they gonna, what are they doing? Are they coming to tear down the structure or what? So I pull around. I wanted to observe, and I talked, and then started, neighbors start gathering. People start seeing what's going on. So anyways, I approached these guys, and I made contact, and, throughout talking to them and figuring out what's going on. This is a story I was going to tell, and I should have just told this story, and my 5 minutes would have been up, but they would have been so intrigued that maybe I would have been asked some questions. So here is your opportunity to ask me some questions. Throw a like, a subscribe in the comments, share this, guys, because we got our work cut out for us. So share this around. But anyway, long and short of it is, when I went up to these guys and I started asking them questions like, who was the prime contractor on site? Who was issuing the safe work permit? Like, I'm an engineer, and I worked in oil and gas for 20 years. So this isn't, the questions I was asking were not, they were pretty standard questions. So I asked what they were there for. So I asked who was the prime contractor, if there was any safe work permits performed, and if there was a ground disturbance documentation being done, including hazard assessments, because they were coming here to drill core holes to sample the soil, and they go down, I don't know, they were going down a ways, probably 3 feet anyways. They had an auger on the back of a big truck, and they had to pull in around these trees and everything. So it was an operation, guys. It was an operation. There was an engineer in training on set. I got his card. These guys from the construction company, I'm not going to mention any names, but they didn't have a card, but I got everyone's info, got everyone's name. So anyways, long, short, this would have been way more than 5 minutes to tell this story. When I asked these guys these questions, I totally was met with the deer in the headlight stare. And if you don't know what I mean by a deer in the headlight stare, like, these guys were either dressed like that because they really don't know what they're doing, and they're junior, but they were older guys. They knew. They were like, oh crap, this guy knows what to ask, and we don't have any of that stuff, so we better make some calls. So I asked them to make some calls. I said, talk to your supervisor. I want to know these things. So anyways, back and forth, getting some info. In the end, I'm presented with this document that I'm not allowed to take a picture of his phone. I was hanging onto his phone, paranoid I'm going to take any pictures. So I read it. I got a photo of the first page of it, and I have that. I'll put that, I'll figure out how to add that as an attachment. Anyways, it's called a license of occupation, issued by the city of Calgary. So I was like, that doesn't make sense. I need to see it again. So I sat there and I read it, and I read it out loud to a group of people. I don't know if anyone videoed it or not. I'm sure there's pictures. I read it out loud. There was a lot of information in there that you would just, it was like a CYA document, and you know what I mean. So, yeah, legal mumbo jumbo. So we get to the last page, and there's an issuance signature, signed, and then witness, signed. No printed names, no titles, no nothing. Like 3 signatures. Okay, so when was this created, this document? I mean, it was dated, it had dates prior to the date. I think it was October. I think it was issued on the 10th or 14th, like that, and it was valid till November 29th, and it was a license to occupy and do this, that, and the other thing. But this is where I wanted to mention in front of city council meeting. But this LOC was issued by the manager of Real Estate Sales and Acquisitions, and his name is Spencer McClurg. And that name, these names I will name, these are public servants, guys. So Spencer McClurg, MC capital C L-U-R-G, Spencer S-P-E-N-C-E-R, Spencer McClurg, manager of Real Estate Sales and Acquisitions. No printed name beside it. I had to ask who had signed this document. Okay, on the witness side, get this. Guess who signed on the witness side, guys? Jeff Dyer. That's J-E-F-F. Last name spelled D-Y-E-R. And he's the CEO of Trellis. So he's the recipient of the LOC, and he's also the witness. Chabot would have been all over this. Man, I really messed up last night. I had my chance, but here it is. This is going to get around. Like, we're not done here. I felt so deflated yesterday. But deep down, I know we're not done, because once the rest of the city figures out what's going on here, like, yeah, we all have a problem. Like, we're not against affordable housing, but first of all, you're tearing down a park, and it's under the guise of affordable housing, because things are underhanded. Why is it underhanded? Well, because we have ulterior motives, and there's probably been deals made on the side. Who knows, guys? Who knows? You know as well as I do that whatever happens, who knows what happens, right? Okay. The second witness is Sue De La Salle. Now, I don't know Jeff. I got nothing against him personally. I don't have anything. I don't even know anything about Trellis. I should do some more research on them. I just got involved because I'm passionate about green spaces, parks, playgrounds, Bowness. Like, they're coming in to change the landscape, guys. So, of course, the fact that they're going after a park first, that's a dangerous precedent. And it's going to wreck our community. So, yeah, we're worried about it. But let's work together. Let's work together. I'm available. Let's go figure out affordable housing. Let's go drive around. Like, the city of Calgary owns that strip mall over by 7-Eleven. Why isn't that proper land? They could build 4 of what they're proposing here over there, right? It's about money and revenues and everything else, and who knows what else, right? So, okay, so Sue De La Salle, so S-U-E-D-E-L-E-S-A-L-L-E is the CFO of Trellis. No printed names. Had to ask who had signed as the witnesses. That's a huge conflict of interest, guys. Huge. Like, how do you not see that? The witnessing signatures from the city of Calgary guy are also the recipients of the license, and the ones that are getting this land, and the ones that are, like, so the fact that I didn't get to say this, and of course I'm not telling the story, she's not going to give me an extension. Oh, sorry, Mr. Thiel, you're done your time. But here we are, we're 23 minutes in, less the intro, so it's a 20-minute presentation, guys. So anyways, I was going to call them out on the breach of conduct. You guys are on notice. Like, here's a blatant, this is a blatant, misuse of power right here, guys. So let's call it as we see it, and that's what I'm doing. That's what this is. Can't do it there in 5 minutes. Well, I don't know what would happen if I actually got to say it. They would have been all over it. I don't know, but would it have made a difference? Probably not. Like I said, I think their minds were made up. I'm going to make sure they get a copy of this, and I'm going to put this in a written letter. And I'm willing to come in to talk about it. I was the eyewitness, guys, and I saw it with my own eyes. Like, and I have everyone's names who was involved. I know the guys that were here, the engineer, not the guys that were driving the core hole drilling truck. I didn't get their info, but I got the EIT from the company, and he was the one doing the sampling and everything. He's a nice, really nice guy. And the 2 construction guys. But then they were leery of me right away because they knew I was asking the questions, and they knew that. And then I started asking questions about the paperwork that they're actually providing, and found out, okay, it's from City of Calgary Real Estate Sales, and it's witnessed by Jeff and Sue from Trellis. Give her one of those. Remember the rock? Okay, so anyways, I was going to say, in conclusion, it's a park. You can't steal a park. They stole the park yesterday, or they said. I was going to tell them to vote no. The people have spoken. 1,200 signatures. The proposed land use sign with it's spray painted no. Yeah, okay, it's defacing of city property. But guys, it's a park. It's a playground. I'm going to take you out there. It's dark. But we're going. I got my boots ready to go. I'm going to go show you around. Okay? The sign says it all, guys. The signs say it all. And then I'm gonna this is a reminder to myself at the end of the video. I'm looking at it down the street. There was thrown up in this council meeting, and Councillor Ward was upset about this, in that all of a sudden they're talking about replacing the park and putting it somewhere else. And there's no documentation. She has never received any emails, so right away, there's more hair on the project, right? So I'm gonna do a separate video over down the street where they're saying that one of the parks go, and you'll see there's train tracks over there, and it's right by the road. It's going to be an easement. And that's why they're not building over there. Like, you would say, well, why take this? We have a park. Why take this park and build this thing? I mean, what they're building here too. I'm going to show you the plans. We're going to do a walk around with the plans one day, and that's a separate video. So those are the two videos. So that, and then the plans. Okay, let's head outside real quick. And we're just going to have a look around. I'm going to keep this running because I don't know how to edit. But yeah, we're gonna be quick. In fact, maybe I don't even need. Yeah, I do. I gotta switch it. Okay. Give me 2 minutes.